As George Bernard Shaw once said, we don't stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing. Our adult fans of LEGO community figured this out a long time ago. They never stopped playing and they continue to inspire us with their amazing creations.
The AFOLs actually contributed in helping us getting back to the core and understand and appreciate the essence of LEGO play.
I am a LEGO man through and through. I played with LEGO bricks as a kid. I grew up into an adult fan of LEGO, and I've been a LEGO designer for the last 7 years.
I lost 3 years of my memory through my health journey, and LEGO instructions helped me bring it back.
You're listening to Our LEGO Stories. I'm Julie Foster and a proud member of the LEGO team.
And I'm Lauren Schuster, another happy member of the LEGO team.
Take a peek into how we bring LEGO products to life and what we do to have a positive impact on the world in this new series brought to you by the LEGO Group. In this episode, we meet two members of the adult fans of LEGO community, known as AFOL, for whom LEGO Play turned out to be a game changer. We also find out how our adult fans influence some of the biggest decisions we make as a business and why they continue to inspire us today. First up, I speak with Annie O'Reilly, a member of our adult fans of LEGO community in Australia. Annie shares with me how LEGO bricks helped her through a tough time in her life and talks about her work teaching adults to practice mindfulness through LEGO Play. So, Annie, when did you discover the joy of building with LEGO bricks?
I discovered the joy of building with LEGO bricks when I was 15 years old. Unlike most children who get that first set when they're little, I was a teenager, and despite my brother having this beautiful collection of LEGO Bionicles and amazing sets, it wasn't really something that I was passionate about. But then, as a 15-year-old, I was struck down with this rare and complicated chronic illness, which was later diagnosed as idiopathic epilepsy and a rare infection in my brain. And I was 15. I didn't really know what I could do. But one of the doctors suggested that I play with LEGO bricks as a way of recovering or getting back on track, because when you're 15 and your whole world is ripped out from underneath you, there's not really much you can do. And then my mum bought me this amazing Harry Potter LEGO set, and I fell in love. Really? I think LEGO bricks were my first love. LEGO instructions helped me regain cognitive function. I couldn't read or write, and having the ability to look at the LEGO instructions, find the pieces, and go step by step retaught me basic skills, because every seizure that I had would wipe my memory. So I lost 3 years of my memory through my health journey, and LEGO instructions helped me bring it back.
I know you facilitate workshops where you actually teach adults about building with LEGO bricks and mindfulness. In your opinion, how are LEGO bricks and mindfulness connected?
I have always believed that LEGO bricks and mindfulness are connected in kind of more ways than one. Being in a moment with a LEGO brick keeps you so focused on exactly what you are doing, you don't even realize that you are practicing mindfulness. So without realization, we're naturally in this state of meditation when we're working with LEGO bricks. And I think that is one of the most beneficial things, especially as an adult, to be able to engage with those LEGO bricks and have those moments just for yourself.
Yeah, it's that real flow you get into once you start building. It's
the LEGO
something.
zone.
Yeah, it is really the zone
Yep.
you get into. And what reaction do you get from adults participating in those workshops?
I have had some of the most spectacular reactions from adults that are re-engaging with LEGO bricks. So a lot of people have gone through their dark ages and they haven't had a chance to play with LEGO bricks for 10 or 15 or 20 years. And then I show up and go, all right, everyone, let's take a moment just for ourselves. Let's be mindful and conscious of this exact moment in time, and let's build LEGO models. And everybody freaks out with joy because it's so creative, it's so freeing, and it's so meditative that people naturally gain so many benefits just from engaging with these beautiful coloured LEGO bricks. I've heard some beautiful stories of the way LEGO bricks have benefited people's lives. the amount of people who have come up and said, I have a similar Lego brick story to you is powerful. And we all band together because we're touched by Lego systems and our Lego brick journeys. I really am grateful for that experience. But some of the other things that people have told me about their Lego bricks, there's the overcoming illnesses, there's the love stories. I love the Lego brick love stories where people have come to an adult fan of Lego meeting and they've fallen in love across a building table.
Oh.
And I've seen Lego fans fall in love and have Lego fan weddings, use Lego bricks as confetti.
Whoa.
Which is slightly painful, but also makes for beautiful photographs.
Very colorful, I imagine. Annie, you're still part of the adult fans of Lego community in Australia.
Definitely.
How would you describe this community?
Adult fans of Lego community genuinely are some of the most spectacular humans I've ever met. They are gentle and accepting and most of the time hilarious and crazy creative. But the thing that I love most about the adult fan of Lego community is that there are literally no boundaries. There's no hostility. There's nothing that segregates us because we're all brought together by Lego bricks. So we've got this one commonality. We come from all walks of life and we are all connected by our love of Lego bricks, which means everybody is accepting of everybody. There's no need for any judgment or concern or nothing like that because we all love the same thing. So we disregard differences and we embrace the things that bring us together.
I think many people can learn from that type of philosophy. So what does it mean for you personally to be part of this really lovely and warm and welcoming community?
I think I really found my family when I found my adult fan of Lego community because there was no judgment. I showed up. I was instantly accepted and I was able to contribute in a way that was beneficial for other people in similar circumstances, but also in a way that gave me great joy. So it's just something I really can't be without, I think. I need my Lego family.
And we as a company need the AFOL community. In fact, we consult them on some of our most important business decisions. Here's Lauren, who speaks with Tormod Askelson, head of adult fans of Lego engagement at the Lego Group, about his team's work liaising with AFOL members all over the world.
Tormod, you've been part of the Lego team for 37 years now. When did you realize that it's not just kids that love to play with Lego bricks and Lego experiences, but that we have a big community of adult fans as well?
It was back in 98, 99. We had just launched Lego Mindstorms. And when we received the postcards that was inserted in a set that we sold, we realized that actually more than half of these products were sold to adults and not to the intended target group, which was tweens, actually, kids between 12 and 15. And also that the products were used for purposes not intended. We decided to get in touch with some of these people. We worked very closely with the MIT Media Lab. We invited some of these people that we considered hackers to come to the Media Lab. And when people came, some of their brother kids, they turned out to be the most wonderful people. Fantastic, engaged in the brand. All of them had actually enjoyed Lego places. They were kids themselves. And they just told us they were fascinated by the technology and all the opportunities it actually provides. And their education and day jobs, database programmers and technical engineers and so on, they just couldn't resist diving into the technology and see actually what you could do with it.
Why are these adult fans so important to the Lego Group?
I think there are several reasons. One being, and what we identified very early on when we started to engage with AFOLs, was that they have reached a level of mastery in their building because they have practiced for many years and they have developed some incredible building skills, meaning that they can actually express themselves using the Lego building system as a creative medium. And that was fascinating. It means when they also share this, not only with their family, but they also share it with the public events. They share it on online media. They inspire a lot of people because suddenly you can see, wow, is that possible? Can you make that out of Lego bricks? So that's one thing. I think another thing I want to highlight is that they are strong brand advocates. There is a large halo effect coming from their activities and what they do. And then we have Lego Ideas. And Lego Ideas is a platform that is very much about open innovation. It's about taking in ideas from consumers. Lego Ideas is for adults, but also for teenagers. So if you are 13 years or older, you can submit ideas to Lego Ideas. And some of these ideas will actually come out as real Lego sets.
And how many submissions would we receive in a typical year?
Currently, there are 4,500 active projects on Lego Ideas that people can support.
And a typical, let's say, winner or something that gets voted to be produced by the Lego Group, how many votes would it take to get to the top of the list?
You need 10,000 people to support you. And to get 10,000 people to support your project is actually a monument. If you base your project on an IP, it's everything else equal, it's simpler to get 10,000 supporters. If you submit a very original idea that has nothing to do with an IP, it can take a long time to rally so many people.
And when you say IP, just for some of our listeners who may not know, that's intellectual property, so licensed products like Sesame Street or Winnie the Pooh. Tormod, can you share some examples of where adult fans have really influenced the decisions we make at the Lego Group?
I think there are actually some pretty big things they have influenced over the past 20 years. I would say if you go back to the crisis we had around 2003-04, we had in many ways lost our way at the time, and we were actually building a strategy to get back on track again. Kel Christiansen, who had actually been fascinated by AFOLs because of their...
Kel is our third generation owner and the previous CEO of the Lego Group.
Exactly. And Kel and Jürgen Winklustorp, who was the CEO at that time, contacted me and said they would very much like to have a dialogue with AFOLs about the essence of the Lego experience. So they traveled to the US to found them, and Jürgen, he spent an entire week in workshops with several different groups of AFOLs. So AFOLs contributed in helping us getting back to the core and understand and appreciate the essence of Lego play, of the Lego experience. And that was one of the components that was a part of the new strategy that was created in 2005.
Oh, fascinating.
So our relationship with AFOLs has been a love story, I would say that. But as any love story, there are some crises that you need to work through. A crisis that we had with the AFOLs very early on happened when we decided to freshen up some of our colors on Lego bricks. We reached out, not to my team, but the design people, of course, reached out to moms in Germany to discuss how they would react to a slight change in the gray and brown colors. And the mothers were very excited about these changes because it made the colors more fresh than they used to be. So the change was implemented, and what happened within the next few hours, I would say, after we launched the products with the new color, was an uproar among AFOLs. Because what happened is when you have a collection of maybe 123,000 gray Lego elements that you're using to create the Star Wars designs with, and suddenly we change the color gray to a different shade, that is not good for your collection. It's not good for your designs. So this ended up with a massive petition that was then sent to our CEO at the time, Jürgen Winklustorp. And the end of the story was that Jörn sent a letter to the AFOL community apologizing for that mistake, acknowledging that AFOLs are there, that we need to listen to them, and that we would not make any change of that kind in the future when it comes to the building system without consulting it.
No doubt our adult fans have a huge impact, inspiring us in the development of LEGO products and events around the world. Some have even made the transition from fan to colleague, like Carl Merriam, who started off as a member of the AFOL community before he got the opportunity to turn his passion into a full-time job. Now a LEGO designer, I caught up with Carl about his journey into the LEGO group and why it's a dream come true.
I am a Lego man through and through. I played with Lego bricks as a kid. I grew up into an adult fan of Lego, and then I've been a Lego designer for the last 7 years. People ask me, what's it like to have your dream job? I'm like, this isn't my dream job because this is beyond a dream. This is something I never even thought was possible. As a kid, I assumed there would be 10 people that made Lego sets and none of them would ever quit doing it. And so when I go to I go to BrickCon and I meet Nick Vass, and then like a couple weeks later, he has been hired at the Lego group to be a Lego designer. And I just asked him, hey, what do I do? And he told me just to send all your stuff that you have on Flickr, apply now. And so I made a portfolio that day, and then I sent it in on Friday. I had an email back on the Monday saying come to Billund to do a workshop. And I didn't even have a passport. Like I hadn't been out of the US in a long time. So I had to drive to San Francisco, get a fast track passport, fly out to Billund a couple of weeks later. And then it was a few weeks after that they called me on my way to work. And they're like, would you like to have a job in Lego Minecraft? Yes, of course. So I went from never even imagining that I would try this in January of 2014 to living and working in Denmark in April. And it was just like a complete whirlwind movie.
Can you describe your early days as a Lego designer? What was it like, and how did it feel to finally be on the inside doing this dream job?
Crazy. The first few weeks, months, I forget to drink water. Like I would go to work and then the day would just go by instantly. I'd be building stuff, looking at all the new stuff that we're working on, talking to everybody. There's just always something more that I wanted to do. And I remember the first week that I was there was the first creative boost that we did. And this is something we do internally in design where all the designers can pitch any ideas for something that might be a Lego set. And to come from the outside and then say, okay, do you have any ideas of something we can make as a Lego set? Here's your chance. Tell us. I was just working until midnight every night for that week. I was so tired that I fell asleep on the couch multiple times, couldn't make it to the bed. And just building and running around in our element warehouse is like a library of Lego bricks, just shelves upon shelves of bins filled with Lego parts.
I heard that you got to work with the designer who actually designed your favorite set. I'd love to hear about that story.
So this is connected to what I was saying about no one would ever quit. Like that is in some ways true because we have people that work as Lego designers or work on Lego products for their entire career. So it's only at the point where they are going to retire that they'll stop doing it. When I started working on Lego Boost, I got to work with a designer named Jørgen Thompson, who has been at the Lego group since 1987. He's this older Danish guy, and I never really talked to him at work. I hadn't really seen him that much. And then we get to be working on the same project. And I just started talking to him about what he had worked on in the past. And he's like, oh, yeah, just a few different space things and stuff. So he worked on Imtron and Spirius and Space Police and Space Police 2 and like basically all the Lego space themes from the late 80s to the mid 90s. And I was really a big space kid. Like I like all the Lego themes as a kid, but space was my favorite thing. And so to not only meet this guy, but actually work with him on a new product and learn what he put into Lego sets, what he did to make Lego sets fun, and then to be able to actually carry that forward and now apply that when I am working in other themes. I think that was really one of the coolest things I've gotten to do at the Lego group so far. One of the really cool memories that I have working with him is actually when we were both working on this Creator Expert roller coaster that came out a couple of years ago. And I'm at the table working on a roller coaster track. He's at the table working on a roller coaster track. And then I brought my son to work that day, and he's on a lower table next to him, started playing with a roller coaster that he has built. And so being able to see the man that's made some of the greatest Lego products ever made, and then my son playing together with Lego bricks was just absolutely incredible.
Our AFOL community continues to inspire us with their commitment, creativity, and enthusiasm for Lego builds. We hope their stories highlighted that no matter how grown up you are never too old to play. You've been listening to Our Lego Stories with me, Julie Foster.
And me, Lauren Schuster.
Talking about the joy and inspiration born from adult play were Annie O'Reilly, Tormod Askelson, and Carl Merriam. This podcast is brought to you by the Lego Group. Stay tuned for future episodes of Our Lego Stories on our website, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And please rate and subscribe so we can welcome more listeners.